Hello everyone, my name is Gothic Lord UK and welcome back to ZOR Pilgrimage of the Slorfs. It's very exciting because there has been an update and there is now a whole new biome, there's new conditions, there's new enemies, and we are going to jump in and explore as much of that as we can over the next couple of days. But the other exciting news is that because I have been supporting Righteous Hammer Games with their launch of ZOR Pilgrimage through the Slorfs through early access, they have decided to give me 3 game keys so that you guys can have a chance to play the game for yourself. So this campaign through this pilgrimage here will probably be in 3 episodes. They normally are, unless everything goes terribly or things get much more difficult. So just make sure that you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment just anything that you want down below. And from each of the 3 days, I will pick somebody to have a key so they can enjoy the game for themselves. But for now, let's jump into a brand new pilgrimage. So we now have difficulties. So we have easy, normal, hard, and brutal. I'm probably just going to start on normal for this new biome today. And then we have a destination. So the second region is secret. Could be either. We've been to the Warren before. The second region will be the Maddening Murk. This is the Warren button. The second region will be the Thrix Warren. That needs to be fixed, but don't you guys worry about it. I'm going to stick this on Murk and assume that it's going to work just fine. We're going to skip over the blessings and the burden modifiers for now, and otherwise we will jump in. So if you don't know what this game is all about, it's a turn-based deck builder where we have this hexagonal board where we need to kill all of the enemies on the board in order to win each round. But along the way, we want to make sure that we are collecting the various resources for crafting stuff on the in-between times, almost like a very light version of something like XCOM, where you have the excursion part and then you go back and you do crafting and deck sorting in between. So somewhere between like a Gloomhaven, an XCOM, and what you're looking at in front of you. So we have a pesky bug, 1 evasion, so the first time we hit it, it will not be hit, 1 health, 2 actions, flying and nibble, and over here we have a grimp enemy, 2 health, 1 action, 1 bash. So the order of the turns, up in the top left-hand side, the initiative. Looking around the rest of the board, we have some mushrooms, which will give us food. There is no water source on this map, so any water that we have is just the water that we come in with. And we have our health markers underneath. So we also have this cliff here. If you want to move up a cliff or attack up a cliff, it costs 1 additional action, which is a problem. So this guy cannot attack at range, but has 2 actions. So it can move once, move twice. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to move away to here to force this bug to move towards me. Then here, the only thing that we specifically will want to harvest is... No, there's no specific resources for harvesting here, so I'm actually just going to burn my harvest card. It will cost me the 2 water that I spend doing that, but it leaves me available to use my other actions with food. So this guy has 1 evasion and 1 health. The first attack on any turn is 1 action, then the second attack is 2 actions, the third attack 3 actions, and so on. This motivation card gives me 3 actions for free. So my first action gets rid of that evade, and then my 2 actions for a 2 action cost attack kills that creature. Then we automatically go over to Hulga when our actions are spent. So I want to hit this wood pile to get a stick out of it. There's another stick up there, and then otherwise it's trapped. Oh, there's a stick here as well. Definitely want that. Let's go back and get that stick. This guy's going to keep trying to make progress towards us. Here, I will play walk for 1 action and just hit these sticks. That reveals some sticks that I can collect. We can harvest this for food, except we now have 1 water. This takes 2 water, so if we were to use it, you can see our health bar blinking there. It means that any cost of cards that we cannot accommodate for our food and water will immediately come out of our health instead. So I'm just going to walk back one tile to here. So this guy has 2 health. So really, I want to attack it when it's most convenient for me. So I'm going to move to here and there. Because if we hit it, it's going to hit us back. So I'm actually going to get rid of this swipe card for the 1 water I have remaining. Then it's going to be forced to move closer to one of us. At which time we can play motivation again. And rather than being 1 evade and 1 health, it's 1 health and a 2nd health. So the enemies are all clear. We can make camp at our convenience, but of course there's still this XP and other resources we want. So let's go after them. I'm going to go straight to this cliffside. Down here, we have 3 food left. We can get those. We need at least 2 actions to climb the hill, so we'll play Explore to do that. And we step on this glyph, which teaches us the recipe for a hiking staff. We have no food left, but we do have loads of water we don't need, so we can discard our swipe card to get rid of the water. And then the only other thing that I really want is this stick, because that is a crafting tool, whereas the food is just a resource for each round, and food is always replenished after camping. So there's nothing else in this level we need. We can make camp. A great success of an encounter. So we get 1 extra XP for our daily excursion, and then we picked up 2 through combat, gained 3 sticks, and learned about the hiking staff. Then back in camp, we have a chance to craft the stuff that we've gained. So we can either do these upgrades to our camp, or we can craft items into new cards. So we can take 2 sticks and create a walking stick. And then once we have a walking stick, if we have some grass as well, we can make a hiking stick. I do see over here as well, the upgrades in camp now seem to cost experience as well as the resources needed, which is a new change. So right now, with our 3 sticks, we can get a small fire, which will give us +2 max food, or planning, which is +1 hand size and +1 scouting level. I'm going to take the +2 max food for now. So that is immediately applied to our Slorfs, so we now have 12 food instead of 10. But we can also go and manage our deck. With the 3 XP we have, we can upgrade any of our cards. What do I want to upgrade first? I'm going to upgrade this harvest card here for 3. So we can choose any of these types of upgrades. An easy harvest is a 1 cost, and it will harvest the adjacent tile. Forage is 2 cost, and it will harvest any card within 2 range of us. Or greedy is 3 water cost, but it will target all of the tiles within 1 of the thing that you are targeting. So I think I'm just going to take a forage for some longer reach on those. And with our XP and our sticks spent, we can go to our next day. So here we can see the list of encounters we need to get to before doing the boss of this zone, and then we'll go on to the later biome. If your scouting level increases through your upgrades, you can see the names of these encounters, and they might give you some insight into what types of enemies you expect to find later on, which in turn can help you prepare better. So what do we have going on here? We have a tough bug, 1 armor, 1 health. We have a regular old grimp. There is a grimp runt, and there is an underflock cannon. So we need to kill all of that stuff. There's also a recipe up here in the petroglyph. There is a stone that we can pick up and use either as a weapon or for crafting. Sticks, mushrooms, the water will refill our water if we are stood next to the ponds. There is a pile of goo there. There is some concealing grass. If we stand in it, we can't be seen by the enemies. We can also harvest this grass in order to have grass as a resource. A dead tree that we can harvest for sticks, and another recipe. So, always starting with Gorb. Where are we going? I think we're going to send Gorb out to the left and Hulga to the right. So let's just start small. Now, this is 4 mushrooms, so I'm actually going to spend my lazy card here because it costs the most to move through this and get back as much value as we can on those mushrooms. So this guy has 2 actions and attacks for 1, so it's going to go 1, 2 next turn and hit me. So I think I'm just going to discard a walk and let it progress to me before attacking it. This guy, if a Slorf is within 3 lines in front of it, the cannon will fire. Well, that is not a concern for me today. While I am next to this pond, I'm actually going to spend my forage card to harvest a tile within range 2 to get the sticks off of this tree. And because I am stood next to a pond, my water will immediately refresh at the start of next turn. There it is. So here we need to attack the tough bug. We have our motivation card. We can attack once and then twice. The tough bug is dealt with. We have shuffled our deck and immediately redrawn our forage card, which is excellent because that means we can forage the grass tile that we are currently stood on. And again, our water will replenish immediately by standing next to the pond. Here, this guy just has 1 health, so we can spend a walk card. Actually, I'm going to spend a swipe card. 1 water for 1 damage attack. Here, I'm just going to walk for 1 onto those sticks. The laser cannon doesn't have anything to attack. This thing only has 1 action, so I'm going to spend 1 to move to a tile that it can now get within 1 of me on its next turn, but won't be able to attack me because it needs that second action to attack. We get a sharp stick, which is lovely. So there's its movement towards us. We actually draw motivation right now, which is perfect because we can attack once and attack a second time. Now we do need to kill this turret, so we might as well start with a swipe to do that. In previous patches of the game, the turrets didn't count as enemies, they just attacked on every turn if possible, so you didn't have to destroy them by the end of the round. That has since changed. So I want this recipe, I want this sticks, XP, and the goo. I think we'll leave Hulga to go after the goo in a second. So, we have enough food that we can do that. Here we've redrawn swipe again. Just going to play and explore. We pick up this stone. So we could throw this stone at an enemy within range 3 for 1 damage, but because it doesn't have a cost, we can actually discard it for free at our convenience. If we do throw it as an attack, it is lost forever. We want to walk onto this recipe. We learn about the shield. And then here we can... Let's play... There's loads of mushrooms here, so I'm going to play lazy. And keep motivation available over here because we have far less food. Let's go for walk of 1. Yeah, we can walk of 1. I'm going to discard my water-based cards with Hulga, who is currently next to a pond. I could go straight to the XP, but I'm going to come to this food instead, so it's easier for us to play another card in a moment. Then we can play lazy. Gets us the last XP, and here we can play explore. Gets us the goo. That is all of the resources on the board, so we can make camp. And our progress continues to be good. So again, an opportunity to craft and an opportunity to upgrade. We learnt about the sharp stick. 1 water, attack adjacent enemy for 2 piercing damage. So that gets underneath armor, but not evasion. There are cards that will get through evasion, but this is for armor. And the shield, Slorf gains 1 armor, but we don't have any bark to craft with that. As for improving the camp, we could make planning now and get that hand size increase. Or we could make a water basin, +1 max water, adds a deck slot for a movement card, and gains an explore card. That would be 1 XP to do that. We currently have 5. Let's go and look at our deck. So we have empty slots here with things that we can populate with later. But what I think I'm going to do is we're going to take Explore here and spend 4 XP upgrading one of our Explores. Choose from 3 random upgrades out of 11 possible. You cannot cancel once you commit. Sure thing. So we have Nature Walk, 2 food, 3 actions, plus 1 action for each adjacent tree or water tile, and water tile. Backtrack, 2 actions, plus 2 actions if Slorf is at the edge of the map. And Flurry. Give Slorf 2 actions. Attack cost does not increase while card is in use. I think I'm going to take Nature Walk just because of the base 3 actions it affords us. Now, these cards can be upgraded again to an even superior version of themselves, but obviously the XP cost is higher. However, we do still have 1 XP left, so I think I will spend that on the water basin. So our water is increased by +1. And if we go back to our deck, we can see... What have we gained? Another Explore card, it looks like. I think that's what it says we were going to get. But with that done, we can hop in to a new day. We have 12 health, 4 of 4 water now, and 12 of 12 food. Still don't know where we're going, so we don't know what kind of creatures we might face here. Alright, well, we've got some egg sacs. Bug eggs, obstacle. Hatches if a Slorf moves adjacent, becomes inactive when enemies are cleared. We have a Rock Grimp, 2 armor, 2 health, 1 action, Spit Eye for 2 damage, so that's something to watch out for. There's some water in a pond and a petroglyph there for a recipe, although we'd have to get past this nut tree to get there. There's a dying bow here, bow, off. If we harvest that, we get a branch. There's a stick there. There's mushrooms. This underflock turret is going to be a problem for Hulga. There's some dry grass, some sticks, and then up here there is a triobelisk. This is basically a booster pack, so when we draw it, it will offer us 3 cards, and we get to pick 1 new card to add to our deck immediately that will be put directly into our hand. So down here, I see no reason for us to go after this bug egg because there's nothing for us there. This turret, though, is going to be a problem. If a Slorf is in the line of 3 tiles, the turret will fire, otherwise it rotates. So unlike the last one that stayed static, this one will rotate onto a different line of attack each turn. So, decisions to be made. Now, the Rock Grimp, interestingly, has 1 action. We know, mechanically, it takes 2 actions to climb up a cliff. It also takes 2 actions to attack up a cliff. So if we can climb a cliff before the Rock Grimp attacks us, we can attack down on the Rock Grimp, but the Rock Grimp cannot attack up at us, which is very good to know. So I'm actually just going to explore 2 up to this cliff. Then here, we almost certainly want to get out of the way of this underflock turret. These guys have 2 actions. I don't know if this counts as a tree for the purposes of Nature Walk. I know that does, because it says nut tree, obstacle, tree. This is probably not trees then, if they're just stumps. So, let's Nature Walk and This is going to be worth way more food than we need to gather. You have you have 2 actions, but you're flying. So if I move away from you, you're going to attack me anyway. Alright, this is not ideal. Okay, we need to get away from this. And stand there in relative safety. Here, we want to kill at least one of these guys, so motivation will be a great way to do that. Get rid of evade, then kill them. Then we get attacked, they don't have a target, and this guy doesn't have a target, so it's kind of acting confused now. It's not going to stand directly at our feet, unfortunately. So what are we going to do? I'm going to discard my stone for free. Then over here, we really want to kill this. We don't have something with 3 actions. So I'm going to play lazy, hit it once, and then step back onto this rather large grub. Get hit once there, which is annoying, but they will be dealt with swiftly enough. Alright, I'm going to play explore. We can step to here for 1. That makes some goo for us, which is nice. Has a chance to be goo rather than always being an enemy. Then we're going to kill this bug. Right, so this is now tracking towards Gorb. We also know that we have Nature Walk and Motivation in our deck since we shuffled, because we haven't seen them this rotation yet. So I'm going to explore to this water tile. Then from up here, I'm just going to swipe. The turret still doesn't have a target. Interesting. It tried to run away from us. It's not what I was expecting. If we nature walk now, we'll get 4 actions. 1, 2, 3, and 4 seems good to me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need to hit that twice. Fortunately, we can only hit it once from here. But we now are no longer stood on the tile that the underflock turret is going to point towards. From here, I think just a walk to do that last damage is lovely. Drops a big experience crystal worth 2. Now, let's forage this branch. So we have a branch, does 2 damage, ignores blunt, ignores evade during attack. Then we need to go kill this thing, but I want it to pass around the circle first. So let's walk onto this food. We might as well get this crystal while we're up here, except if we step to there and back, we will still be in the line of the attack, so we shouldn't do that now. The Grimp dropped a Grimp shell. That is a great thing for us to be able to get soon. Right, let's explore. We will drop down here, get this food. There's Nature Walk again. We are next to this tree. I want to get that petroglyph, but we can't do that until we can harvest a couple of times. So let's get this XP. We have 2 actions left. We will stand here and just start wailing on that. I'll discard the branch for free. This thing only has 3 HP, so we can go motivation for 1 and a second. Here, I can afford to discard a walk. Really waiting for our harvest cards to come around. We'll go with Nature Walk again. Hit you. And I'm going to go after this grass. The enemies are cleared, so now we have all the time we want for collecting stuff. Unfortunately, we only have 1 water and our harvest card is 2, so we can expect to take a bit of damage collecting that, but it'll be fine. Let's swipe that for sticks. forage this for a new card. We take a little thirst damage, but we'll be okay. Assist. Give one action, ignore the cost of the next card played. Jump. Ignore obstacles, height, and action penalties. Or reflect. +1 to experience gained from enter effects. I'm going to take the hop. I really like the movement options. Then here, go 1 and 2 to get the sticks and the grass. I'm going to move 1 and 2 for some food. Now, we are low on our food here, so let's play the motivation. I'm going to walk 1 to get this shell. We can discard the shell for free, because that is a resource. Then we can hop over this gap, which replenishes our water and gives us access to the petroglyph. Yeah, we can discard swipe, because we have 3 water. We only need, like, 2 if we harvest the mushrooms in a moment. Yeah, we can walk for 1, get a recipe. A grass decoy. Here, for 2 water, I am going to forage this mushroom. That gives us 4 food. We now shuffle, and I'm waiting to see forage come back round again. Hopefully, soon. But what I really want to see now is my harvest card so I can get this nut tree. There it is. So that will drop those nuts on the ground. We harvest water immediately. Then we can run over and fetch that. That appears as a consumable in our hand. Nut gives Slorf 3 food. Share also apply to another Slorf if adjacent. Consume, destroy on use. If discarded, does not reshuffle. So now we just need to collect that. We can discard that on that side. Here we have enough food to hop for the other nut. And then we can make camp. So we got a bunch of XP and a bunch of extra stuff there. So we could make a cozy fire, +2 more max food, a move deck slot, and a card for walk. Or over here we could get working on our planning. As for cards, we can still make a sharp stick or a walking stick. We now know the recipe for a grass decoy, but we don't have enough grass to make one. So I'm going to start with planning here. We do have 3 sticks. And that increases our hand size by 1. Without any more sticks, it's going to be hard for us to build anything else right now. But we can look at upgrading stuff. So, Nature Walk could be upgraded. 3 and +2 actions for each adjacent tree or water tile. Or alternately, we could upgrade another Explore into another one of the pool of 11 cards. Let's do that. Hike, Backtrack, and Caution. Hike gives Slorf 4 actions. Backtrack, give 2 +2 extra if at edge of map. Caution, give Slorf 1 action and 1 armor. I'm going to take Hike. I love the flexibility of the high movement cards, or the high action cards. Particularly when you upgrade Hike again, it gets to be particularly good, I think. We have 2 XP that we can't spend on any of this stuff. Unfortunately, we can't remove the stone from our deck. As much as I don't intend to throw it at anything quite yet, we must have those spots full if possible. Much the same reason as why these nuts are over here. But we do not yet have enough movement cards to fill our movement slots. So, back to the map. We now have 1 scouting. Thanks to our planning here, we have +1 scouting level. So we can see we are heading into the rejuvenating maze. So, let's go in and see what we end up against here. So, as you can see, a great big maze of water and edge pieces. We have 2 of these enemies here. Lost Thrix. Enemy, Thrix, fleeing. 1 evasion, 2 health, 3 actions, kick 1, knock back 2, will attack if cornered. So they are going to run around in whatever direction they so fancy at any given moment, which can be tricky. There is a fur there. We can grab that as a resource. There is a stack of stones here. We can grab another stone from that. Some grass. A mending glyph. We could get Hulga her health back. There's a dead tree. There's a giant mushroom that fills our food if we need it. Otherwise, nothing else. Oh, there's a petroglyph down there. Alright, in that case, we are not next to any trees. So let's not nature walk just yet. I will walk onto this fur. So you see up in the top right, we now have 1 fur available to us. I'm going to move to this tile here. No, I'm not. I'm going to discard a nut, because I want to see what direction these guys go. Because what we might want to do is try and like pincer them in, even though that's going to be a lot of movement to spend. Right, where are we headed? I'm actually just going to swipe those sticks to start. Not super exciting, but we do need sticks. Right, they're fleeing. Right, I'm going to hop over to here. And we are going to nature walk, because we are stood next to a water tile, to here. Now this guy's going to flee, but they are going to get stuck in this section by this stone pile. Hike is incredible. That's going to give us a lot of freedom to do stuff. But I'm going to start with lazy. Then back here, I'm going to discard nut. They're going to keep going into that dead end. And now we can hike. So the evade is gone. I'm going to discard a stone. They didn't attack us back because they weren't completely cornered in. We gave them the 1 tile for freedom of movement. With motivation, not only do we spare ourselves some of the food that we don't really have right now, but we also managed to kill the foe. I'm actually just going to hop over to this recipe. We learn about the rock flinger. That is a great thing to know about. And while we're over here, I'll take an explore to get this food. Now, I would love to get to that tile there for nature hike, because that is next to 3 water tiles. But I will start with just 1. They're going to run off, sure. Here, I'm going to forage this stack of stones. Now, really, I want Hulga to be over here, but not much I can do about that right now. Right, let's discard a Grimp Shell. We refresh our water, which is lovely. I'm going to go... we're running out of food over here. I want this grass, but I also want Hulga at some point to get this mending glyph. So, let's just discard a stone. Then I still want to get to here. Yeah, we keep freaking them out. Let's go and try and pin that guy in, shall we? It's going to be a real tough time, I'm sure. This stump does not count as a tree, unfortunately. We can hike around here, get some mushrooms. And we can hike over to there and stand between two water tiles. That'll be great for a nature walk in a minute. So that's 5 actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that is a great place for you to run, sir. I'll take the XP and then move this way. The enemies are cleared, thank goodness. Let's see. Now we need to get all the way to the other side of the board, and we have not very much food, but there is a giant mushroom here, so spend the last of our food to stand there. We have enough water to forage this in a minute, but we need to forage the giant mushroom first. So, we will hop over to these sticks. We are going to forage this mushroom, which will refill our food entirely. As for our food situation, a whole other thing. We'll discard swipe because we don't need the water. I'm going to hop this tile here so that we can be next to 2 water tiles to play nature next round. There is our forage card back. So there is nature walk next to 2 piles of water, but we don't have hop currently. So we'll go the long way round. We can walk for 1 towards that tree. Then hike gets us to this grass. Forage gets us that tree across the water. And a hop gets us to this mending glyph, which heals us back to 12 health. There are no other resources that I want on the board. We can make camp. Everything is going great. Oh, we learned the rock flinger. And I know that I have a rock. Do I have the other stuff I need to make it? No, I need a leaf. Right, well, that's a shame. As for other stuff, we have all the supplies to make any of these that we want. We also have 5 XP. Is there anything I specifically want to spend 5 XP on? No. I think what I'll do is I'll upgrade this Explore to another random choice of card. Backtrack, Easygoing, and Climb. I'm going to take Easygoing. It's a 1-cost, 2-action card, and I just like having cheap cards as well as cards with high turn value. And then that leaves us 1 XP, which we can then craft something on this row. I think I'm going to pick Woodshed here. You gain 1 sticks every time we camp. We also add a move slot to our deck and an explore card. So now, every time we camp, we also get 1 free sticks, which is lovely. Alright then, so if we go and see our next day, we can see that we're going to the Rumbling Beach next, but at 40 minutes, I think that is plenty enough for today. Remember, if you would like a copy of the game for yourselves, I have 1 to give away today and 1 for the coming 2 days as well. Just remember to like, subscribe, put a comment down below, and then I will look among the comments and pick somebody. I'll take the names into a spreadsheet, randomize it, and then let you know if you've got one. And you have 3 chances to win. For now, though, thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you to the devs for giving me the keys to give away and for making such a wonderful game. If you have any questions, comments, or anything else, you can put those down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.